T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Own it, own it, own it, Kong. I own it. It did.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
On the planet. Of course. I mean, who else would it be on this Tuesday late night? Now, we're running a little behind, but listen, that's what happens when you are the Salt Shakkas, okay? We have to make sure everything is in order. We have to make sure everything is right. Now, tonight, we're not going to be breaking down any wrestling shows. However, it is still a wrestling reality show. Now, Santana, let these good people know what we're here to do.
Not me taking the lead. So, of course, you've read by the title. We're here for Miz and Mrs. episode 3 of season 3 of Degrees. And I mean, we got to learn a little bit more about the behind the scenes of Miz being on Dance with the Stars, right? We got to learn about him, learn how his dance moves are going and how his dance partner actually deals with such a big personality. And we got to see a little bit of a spunk between him and Maryse per usual, to kind of, help Mike be a better dancer when it came to like this whole Grease theme that they had with Grease, John Travolta, and I don't know who the other lady is, but you've seen that movie, you've seen it. I personally could care less about the movie because
you've never seen Grease?
I've seen bits and pieces, but never said that it's not a movie that I would say I want to watch.
It's crazy because it's actually one of my mom's favorite movies, and she made us watch it when I was younger, and I absolutely never went back to it. Honestly,
that's depressing.
Child, listen, let me tell you what's also depressing. The way that Miz was trying to scrub the ground when we first started off the show, that man was adamant about getting that bathroom clean. Okay. We got Jamie in the building, one of our subscribers here on Women's Wrestling Talk, and a dear friend to us. And honestly, we really appreciate Jamie coming in and everyone coming in who has joined us. But I kind of felt bad because it really seemed, like Miz was nervous.
He was
definitely. And listen, I had my notes last week. I got my notes this week. And I really felt like we saw a different side of Miz being extremely transparent with everything. Now, we also saw Barb, Miz's mom. She came in and, she was there to babysit, while everything was going on with the parents, of course. But she decided to do a whole 180, just like Miz, and we really found out where he get all his like OCD when it comes to cleaning. What did you think
Yeah.
about that?
Well, like I said, his mom is a cleaner. She's gonna clean. She's going to clean. She's going to clean because that's something that she just does. Like she's always been cleaning or doing something. It kind of just like she's kind of great to have around, and you kind of get to see how when she's around and she's cleaning, Maryse kind of slacks. Honestly, she kind of just be like, well, your mom's here. She's gonna clean. She rearranged the kids' closet. She's cleaning stuff. She moving things around, vacuuming, all this stuff. So I mean, his mother always seems to be very adamant about having a clean home. And obviously, I mean, of course, if you see Miz and Maryse has a beautiful home. Like I don't care how many houses they've moved from, every house on the inside is like fully furnished. Rich energy. I tell you that much.
And it doesn't seem like they have any maids, to be
No,
honestly. It looks
not at all.
like they clean their own house. Now I mean, we don't know. We never know. But I personally seen Miz be so adamant about that. It was really good to see because it really foreshadowed what's more to come. Now, a few quotes that I got from Maryse tonight. She says, Barb is really like a cleaning tornado.
She is.
She goes on to say, not like your dad, of course, referring to Mrs. Dad. And he goes on to say that that his dad is more of a talker. And Maryse is like, well, that's where you got your talking from. Honestly. Because, I mean, let's just be honest. We can see different traits of both of them, in tonight's episode, honestly. And like I said, Barb came in and she wanted to help out. That turned into her putting the kids to bed and just really like you said, taking over when it came to the cleaning. Now, one thing that I really like to see was, while all this was going on, Miz decided to go out with one of his really good friends and actually someone who recently married Alexa Bliss, Ryan Cabrera. Am I saying his last name right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. They went on a little golfing tour, something that they always love to do. And Miz was very, very clear. Honey, we ain't here for the games. We ain't here just for the games. We are also here for a little betting as well. And we saw some action, in the midst of that, which was really good to see. We've seen their friendship blossom over the years. They cut back to some of the things that they've, been in competition with. We saw the beer pong, and honestly, I love that because I feel like this really describes kind of like how the Salt Shakers are. We are very competitive by nature. Not necessarily. I honestly though, like you're the editor.
I'm competitive?
I do. You're the editor in chief, and I'm the senior writer. We're a tag team, and we may not be competitive towards one another, but when we hit the paint, we hit the paint hard. Okay. And I just feel like you may not be as vocal with how you are when it comes to competition. But listen, when the going gets tough, baby, Santana is not the one to be. Santana may stay in her lane, but baby, if she need to swerve over a little bit and hit you, she gonna hit you. And I love it. And listen, y'all. I'm telling y'all, when it's time to get something done, I feel like that's when we see you're competitive. And I feel like the only competition in your mind is yourself. That's it. Me, I'm competing with the world. Okay? Like, and honestly, that is my problem.
I mean, but it works for you though, you know what I'm saying? Because you need to have somebody there to make you want to do something. You know?
That's very true. Now,
but Nikki is very vocal when she feels like somebody is stepping over into her lane. Like,
yeah,
she's very vocal. Me, my actions speak.
That's it.
Honestly, I really don't have to do anything because I know you're not gonna be able to do what I do. So that's why I just like. So why would I put energy into trying to prove something that I know that's already been proved? You ain't got it, sweetheart.
Listen, y'all.
That would be like my side of things. Like I don't have to do anything. It's already been proven.
Period. And I love to see how Miz and Ryan were competitive, but it was still friendly. Okay,
yeah.
That when you betting and you put money on it, that's a whole different ball game, literally. You know.
Yeah,
but with that, you said what?
It gets a little interesting because a lot of times you have to have those type of friends who are fun, not those who take things so seriously. Like I know a lot of times if people are betting on things, sometimes they end up in a fight or weapons get utilized. And a lot of times, you want to, I feel like it all depends on what type of friends you have. Those who are like, all right, cool. I just say if you're going to bet, leave the betting to the rich people. Honestly, they can care less about losing money. That's all I'm going to say.
That's true.
It just all depends on the type of friends you have. Like, and sometimes it's not even money that's being bet. It's just like stupid things is just being bet. Like, you have to, I don't know, go skinny dipping in the pool or run around outside or something for 3 minutes or something like that. Sometimes the funness in that,
Those bets are better than money to me because
it's.
I'm not going to go that hard. Honestly, like I'm not going to go that hard for money. I'm just going to be honest. Like if I'm betting, it's not going to be like this overly amount anyway.
Yeah.
But when we're betting like stipulations, I'm going hard in the paint. And it's my nature to
I don't want to be skinny dipping. I got too much blessings for y'all to be. See when I get, I don't need
okay, honey. She said, baby, my girl said she started early because, baby, she said if she goes skinny dipping, it might get loud. I'm starting.
Nikki is starting to love it. I'm telling you.
I'm starting to love it. Another thing that I'm starting to love is Maryse, seeing her, because y'all, this is my first season thoroughly watching. And she went and she took herself on a spa date. Okay. And that's what I love. Okay. A good old time to myself. I don't think she was really taking advantage of Barb, which we'll get into that conversation that they had a little later towards the end of the show. I think Barb was very, and we'll see that we saw that at the end of the show too. Like Barb was happy to be there and happy to assist them. And it was good to see Maryse kind of get her massage and do her own thing. However, when she came back to a surprise. Miz had kind of told Barb, I'm going to send you home because the kids sleep and now my house looks like the maze done ran through and you done cleaned everything. And then we get into more so of the conversation of Miz being just utterly nervous. And we see a very transparent moment when he's reading the comments online.
Yeah.
And we all know the online comments, especially in the wrestling community.
Well, that's because Ryan brought it up to him. Like he wasn't reading the comments before until Ryan opened up his mouth and told him, because Miz was like, everything's going good, it's positive. It's like, well, social media seems to be on the other end saying you got a dad bod
and of course he had to bring her home.
Yeah, and Maryse not making it any better because he's reading the comments to her, and she's just like, she's read the comments. And he's like, you didn't like, you're not telling me that you read them. It's like, for what?
Miz is very sensitive, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that he's very intuitive with his emotions, but I think sometimes he when he was looking at that comments, I felt for Miz in a sense, because when you're reading some of those comments online, it can be very, I know I've been on certain platforms and I've read some of the comments of people who have a bigger following, and it if I would be lying if I was to say that it doesn't get to you, because it does, especially when it comes to pronouns and just different things that you see, you know, the way you look, and it builds even more insecurities, and you have to pay attention and just realize that, like, I'm focused on me. I really can't get into the comments. But with that being said, it's so hard not to look at being said, or, you know, read the comments and feel it's disheartening times. And he was, yeah.
I think a lot of people have. I think everybody in this world have dealt with people who have made like disrespectful comments to them or about them. I mean, like everybody have. I've had, you know, when they have the whole XFM thing going on. I mean, I never knew I had so many people who were so big and bad behind an anonymous, you know, text or whatever, because they, you know, for a fact that they would never have that same energy with you. And a lot of time, those are the kind of people who will say all kinds of bad things about you and try to get up under your skin, you know. And it's sometimes, you know, you can try to keep your strong interior, but eventually, strong exterior, but eventually it's like, it is going to come to a moment where you're just like, what is the issue? Like, why are people always trying to find ways to make fun of you when you're not doing anything to them? It's just the fact that they just want to have something to say. And because they're trolls, and because they hide behind fake pictures and crazy usernames and everything, they just feel like they have the obligation to say whatever it is they want to say, because they know for a fact that if you saw this person, if you saw them in person, the way that they act on social media would never mount up to it. And a lot of times they have a lot of insecurities within themselves, so they tend to take it out on other people who are not afraid to show who they are. Besides, you know, you just have those type of trolls to just do that. And they just have a living off of making disgusting and distasteful comments about people, and think that people will be okay with that. And it's not. A lot of times in those situations, you have those people who are probably on their last leg, and they're just like, you know what? You feel this way. I already feel this way about myself. Let me just go ahead and remove myself. And then boom, it's like these trolls have a kill list. Honestly, they try to go after people who have the lowest self-esteem, and it's unfair, you know.
And honestly, we've seen cases. Get too much off topic, but we've seen cases of where messages have led to suicide, and it's even been thrown into the court system, and people have been charged with murder or of someone. With that being said, here at Women's, we don't tolerate any of that bullshit. And if you're out there getting that, you're getting, you know, slander, the biggest advice that I would say is just don't pay attention to it. I know it's easier said, but in our group, we troll each other all the time, you know, but that's coming from a different place than someone. But if you're online doing, you know, doing all that. It's really disrespectful and it's sad. And
I fight.
I'm glad that
I,
I like what Miz said. Are you going to jail? Like
I'm fight back.
messing with me, you going to jail. Um, I'm gonna block you. I'm not. One thing about me, I've always, and we talked about this when we were watching the episode.
Yeah.
One thing about me is like I ignore a lot of things because I'm so used to having that attention. I never growing up, I always was different the way I looked. And so I know how that feels with the day of social media now. That just opens up so many different other wounds where people feel so and you know what, with people like Miz, people think that they don't have they aren't regular people. But when you say things online, you are still they are still human and they feel it. And so it was his conversation was very eye-opening to me, and it led to Maryse actually coming with him to his practice with his dance partner Whitney. And I thought that was very interesting to see because they are extremely supportive of one another. And I know we're probably having some technical issues, you guys. I don't know. I checked the stream out. So if you guys have any issues with the sound or the video, just let us know. But I think everything should be moving.
Yeah, you're good now because it was kind of lagging and freezing on your end, but you're good now.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we can still hear you though.
Okay. That's all that matters. Listen, we don't care. We don't listen because I might give you all audio in a show this week. We're not even gonna talk about it. But with that being said, this picture alone shows the support that Maryse has and they have for one another. And I think it's very important because we see a lot of couples in wrestling. I mean, you have so many now. Look at, Montez and Bianca, and even outside of WWE with the Cordonas. I mean, Ty Valkyrie and Johnny. Like there's so many wrestling couples that they have. And to see this, and let me just say this, because I ain't gonna get too turnbuckle glam, but when Maryse does these two braids, I absolutely love it.
It's cute.
It's so freaking cute. It doesn't look like it doesn't look like, you know how some people they weave in and out of that line of cultural appropriation. I feel like this looks appropriate with her aesthetic. What did you think about the whole, her coming and pause and doing the whole
I wasn't even thinking about that.
doing the whole practice and everything as he gears up for, in my opinion, one of the most important dances of his career in Dancing with the Stars.
I thought it was great. I mean, it's nice that you have, he talked about him being nervous. He was already in shambles about what people were saying online and everything of that nature. So to have Maryse come there and be extremely supportive, like they're so supportive of each other, and to have in that moment and to just kind of watch how he said that he's always trying to impress his wife. Like he's always just trying to just make her like just be so in love with him, which we know that she is. I mean, for her to be there for him, but for him to make it all about her in regards to just trying to impress her, like get you a Miz, okay? Not saying get you a white man, but get you a Miz, okay? Yeah, the pants she had on the episode was awesome. It was so cute.
My god! Let me tell you something. The gray and black with the hint of like, oh my goodness. Those pants were everything. Thank you so much, Goth_vegan, for reminding me of how cute those pants were.
Maryse can Like she can really dress, honestly. Like,
She can.
we'd
But
have issues.
I do love what you said because the way he adores her and
Mhm.
still makes it about is Miz. What is Miz sign? Is he a Cancer?
Why would you say that?
Because Cancers have a good way of making other people that they care about and love feel special, even if it's not like
No, ma'am. Not at all. He's your favorite.
he's a Libra.
He is.
Wow. I wouldn't have guessed that. Mm-mm.
He's your fave.
I wouldn't expect that. No, Cancers have a way. Well, the Cancers that I've interacted with, no matter the gender or the pronoun,
Maryse is Aquarius.
wow, that's
All right.
okay. Any Cancer I've interacted with has always they know how to make someone feel very appreciated, even when yes, it's in it. Like you being a Cancer, like you don't even have to say it. I think it has a lot to do with your actions.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I don't mean to be emotional right now, but like I know for me, like, I feel a sense of like we're always spending time together. And
Mm-hmm.
even though you're an emotional being, do
Your sound cutting in and out, Nikki.
you know how Miz? Oh,
Okay, now
they hate me.
you're here now.
Jesus.
His rising could be Cancer.
Yeah.
Or his Venus could be Cancer.
Yeah, that's true. Am I still cutting out?
No, you're good now.
Okay. But yeah, like I think he just does a phenomenal job. Nick, but y'all can still hear me.
Yeah, you're. I can still see you moving. It's a little blurry though, but we can still see you moving around and
I should
hear
have worn
you
my
now.
bun. I should have worn my bun.
You think your bun is a saving grace?
I do. I really do.
Oh, Nikki,
Because when Maryse wears her bun,
even when you had your bun, it was sometimes still messed up.
it'll
Don't
cut out,
blame.
but it'll come back. I'm blaming. Yeah, I'm blaming it.
Okay, well, Thursday wear your bun and let's see.
Oh, I'm definitely wearing my bun Thursday.
You
I'm
wear a
wearing my
bun.
bun. I ain't gonna tell you who I'm wearing my bun for, but I'm definitely wearing my bun.
If you wear your bun, I'm gonna put a bun in my head.
That's the power. But no, I really hope that the signal doesn't go out. I know, right? I really hope the signal stays for the next part that we talk about.
I wanted to before we get to the next part. So we did a poll on Twitter, also ran one on Twitch, and it was like, until then, it's like we want to know: would you let your spouse's parents live in your house? 75% said, of course. 25% said, absolutely not. And on Twitch, we have 67% said, of course, and then we had 33% say, absolutely not. And on both times, I was a part of the absolutely not plan. Cause absolutely not.
And that poll came from last week's episode where we opened up the season, episode 1, where the season opens up as
mom.
We didn't.
No.
Marjo. We didn't see her at all. It was more so about Barb this week. And honestly, I had to stop everything. Y'all know.
Only I had kids.
That's a reason. Y'all know if you didn't catch the live, we went live earlier. I was in my work shirt. So yes, I was at work.
I had my camera. You want to see me, you come to Twitch.
you come to Twitch, baby, and subscribe, okay? With that being said, the conversation between Barb and Maryse, very emotional, very transparent. And I keep saying this, but that's what we see a lot in reality TV. A lot of transparency. I know a lot of people say, oh, reality TV is fake, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. It may be scripted, whatever. Who knows? But this conversation between Maryse and Barb really hit a lot of points. We see Barb talk about her being 15, where everything started for her wanting to, do certain things. She opens up about her bulimia at 15 as well. And she said something that really just really stayed with me. She said that having Miz saved her life because she wanted to make sure that everything was right. And she wanted to make sure that everything was, taken care of. And the reason of the conversation was because Maryse wanted to make it clear that she didn't want Barb to feel as if she was taking advantage of her being there. And I thought that was very good to see because, there are some times where parents may feel like their kids are taking advantage of them in the sense of time and opportunity. But it was really good to see them have this conversation. What were your thoughts on the whole conversation?
You kind of get to pretty much see the dynamic relationship and the bond that Maryse does have with Mia's mom, Barb. Like, you really get to see a lot of more. I know that, this is season 3. We pretty much have seen their relationship, but I feel like with this one, this is the first time she's really opened up a lot more about a lot of things that she kind of dealt with and stuff like that. And it's nice to know that she entrusts Maryse to share this information with her. I thoroughly love their relationship. Barb, she's so nice. She's such a sweet person, and for her to open up about something that she struggled with at 15, there's a lot of people in this world who struggle with bulimia. Which people would consider it to be like a disorder. Those who struggle with bulimia, it's a tough situation because you're doing everything you can to be slim and all this and that because of those insecurities, because you have those people in this world who, like it all goes back to social media. Like, I feel like this whole thing here was dealing with just more so about things that get talked about and brought up on and things that people deal with their entire life. And to the fact that her son, Miz, having him is the reason that she's still here. There happens to a lot of people who end up having kids at certain ages. It's like maybe that kid was the reason why you're still here, that it saved you to want to have a better life and be able to give a life to someone else. So I mean it is tough to get into and everything like that. I personally don't know what it's like, but I've had friends in the past who have that, and a lot of times you don't really know that someone is kind of dealing with this because unless you're really paying attention, honestly, paying attention to how they eat. They take really small bites. They don't eat all their food. They're running to the bathroom and all that stuff. So I mean, it's a lot that goes through it, that goes into it and everything. But I'm glad that she's still here because now we have her, we have the Miz. The Miz found his woman, have their kids. They have a nice life. So it's nice that she chose to still be here, and Miz is the reason why she still is. So I think that's great.
I do too, and it's beautiful because I honestly I know for me when I was in middle school, it was a big bulimia was so big. I went to a predominantly white private school, and that's pretty much. I think my signal just came back too. That was pretty much. I don't feel like it was bulimia, that for me personally, I've always been small.
Yeah.
It was more so having the thoughts of everyone else was bulimic. So I was like, it made me question myself. And I would like eat salads and stuff. It was honestly for me something that I just had to deal with over time, and just realize that no matter what, I'm just a smaller frame. And I would even have people ask me if I was bulimic. And when I heard that word, when she said that word, it took me back to middle school. And having that. And I think when we have these open conversations, and I think my signal probably just went out again. But when we have these conversations, it's very important to realize that, like, you never know. And it may sound cliche, but honestly, you never know who's listening. And it took me off. It really threw me off because I hadn't heard anyone talk about that in years. And it's something that can be overwhelming, and it affects a lot of people still. And it was something that it made me go back to being in middle school and that pressure of young girls to be skinny, and for her to open up about it and then tie it into literally like her child saving her life, I thought was absolutely just it was, for me, it was important, because when we have these open conversations and you see someone who is older have this conversation, you don't even realize that this was an issue back in her time as well. And then you realize that sometimes it's so much deeper than just, like with Maryse and Barb, it's like, I don't want to take advantage of you. And then she turns it into a very clinical conversation. And it turns into a really like a kind of like an outreach conversation, because you never know who's watching the show, and you never know who could be suffering through bulimia right now. And I honestly, hearing her story of like perfection, I know for me that, like, I always go back to this book, The Gift of Imperfections, and it talks about there's joy in being imperfect, because we are not perfect. And the way that Barb talked about, being perfect for just herself, and being perfect for Miz, and being perfect for everything. And I really thought that was a good conversation to have, and it was very open. And we see people like Miz and Maryse, and we think, oh, they just have a perfect life, they have a beautiful home, they have 2 girls. But this episode for me really was eye-opening, because there were so many social issues that were discussed. And I love that moment. Like, I love that moment of, once again, transparency and the joys of imperfections. Like Jamie says, you will find out that when you realize how important imperfection really is, you realize, like, living a life of trying to be perfect, it's an oxymoron. It's just, you have to make it what you have to make your life important enough to say, this is not perfection is not a reality. Imperfection is a reality. and having that conversation and seeing this, I'm really glad that we're doing this because yeah, this is fun. This is, this is what we do. We love coming to you guys and breaking down stuff. But it's also very eye-opening, and it helps you with issues that you never know you may have. Honestly, I would definitely went through the whole perfect thing, and expectations and stuff. It's a relief to accept we are not perfect, and it really is. But of course, it wouldn't be Miz and Maryse if we didn't have a little glam. Okay, moving right along, baby. Let me tell you something. My girl came and showed out. Okay, she said, "Baby, I am here, and I love you, and I want you to know that we will forever ride off and sit together. And baby, we are Greece, and we're here. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm obsessed.
I mean, how can you not be obsessed? Like, look at them. They make you sound
Like, girl. And of course, I mean, my sound went out.
I think you did. You're back now.
Girl, this is so ghetto.
I can't hear
They
you.
send me, y'all need y'all need to get y'all shit together tonight, honey. Let me tell you something. Listen, I live, y'all, it's my Wi-Fi be tripping, but then some nights it will be so perfect. And that's the love. That's the and then Santana's will be tripping. And that's the best thing about
never be on the same page.
Never. That's the lovely thing about that's the best thing about having virtual having everything virtual, because crazy, let me tell you something. If we were in a studio, baby, y'all would hate us. I'm gonna tell you that now. Y'all would hate us.
Being in the studio, like sitting across from each other talking about this.
To be honest, I would want it to be all audio.
Well, everything can. Why you always want things
Like,
to be audio?
I would want us to, because I feel like that's
Nikki
just
feels like she does better on audio than she
I
does.
feel like I do so much better on audio.
And that's because you can't see her facial expressions or whatever.
And there it is. And we could have like a live, like it could be live still, but like it would be audio. But with that being said, they did ride off in the sunset. We saw the amazing performance that he did. Miz really has killed it on during his time on Dancing with the Stars, and it was really great to see him show out and really show up and
do his thing. I think Nikki went out again. Yeah, I think that with the Miz, he's, we already know the Miz has a great the Miz on TV and the Miz on Miz and Maryse is totally different. Like, I say it's still outrageous and it still has a lot of personality, but I thoroughly enjoy just like seeing Miz and Maryse. I really do. On their show. I mean, look at this photo. I mean, it's definitely given.
It's everything.
Like, this is the shot is everything. Like, this is like wedding pictures, but they're married. It's like renew your vows type thing. I mean,
he really
did. He was given what he needed to do. Had the wig on and everything. Like, he really did what was needed to be done, and like their show is just everything. It makes you like them a little bit more. Although they're like major heels on TV, but actually watching their show is so good.
And they're really not different from how they are in WWE. And it makes
I just think that it's not as like heelish. It's more likable, like more so than it is on like TV. I know a lot of people like to say like, just more so like, I don't like them, they're this or that, but He has a hot wife. What can you say?
I mean,
the man is winning.
Look,
Come on now.
Look at my wife. And I mean, they turn it up on WWE, but I
their
think
family is
that
fun.
their energy is crazy together.
Yes.
Like, and before we get out of here, of course, some of the last bullet points that we'll talk about. After the day after of the performance, he goes back to social media. He begins to read the comments, and he said something, and he said it. He proved everybody wrong. For all the people that are going to talk shit and say certain things, one thing that Miz has to realize though is when they hating, hey, you doing something right. People are always gonna find something bad in something good. That's just the nature of people. Everybody's not gonna like it, but I'm glad that he was able to look at those comments and be like, you know what? Let me be honest. I'm the shit. Okay? And you can say what you want. Okay? Because I'm here and obviously they needed me. And listen, back to the notes. Okay? Listen, I don't play, honey. I had to take it old school with this because, this is my first time actually, doing a reality TV post show. Before I met Santana, and Santana knows this, I was trying to start my own channel with nothing but housewives in reality TV, and I would do video. I would make these videos by myself, and I realized that I can't do this by myself. And then me and Santana, we met, and there was just a vibe that I felt with Santana, and I was just like, when we went on a large platform together, and we did a few shows with the platform, and I noticed our vibe was just unmatched, and I was just like, dang, like this is perfect. Our chemistry, it just works. And now everything's full circle, and we're talking about wrestling and we're talking about reality TV. And so it's crazy how fate works, because at the end of the day, if it's meant for you, it will be given to you. It's already yours. And with that being said, I'm very grateful to be able to break down this show. What I'm not grateful for is this connection. But we here. Now on next week's episode, we see Miz. He's looking for his lucky underpants. Santana, do you think he's gonna find them?
I don't know. I mean, maybe the kids may have them. Sometimes kids are, sometimes kids are roaming through things, right? And sometimes, I don't know, kids manage to grab things out of nowhere where it's like not expected. So, I mean, honestly, at this time,
I think it's a prank. I think Maryse is playing a prank on that man.
She might be.
I really think she is, honestly. Any last thoughts on this show before we get out of here?
I have to say that it was fairly good. I fairly enjoyed Miz and Mrs. this week. I just think that the episode gets better and better. We get to learn a lot more about them. And just with this season being more so about the Miz and this whole Dance with the Stars thing, I'm excited to see what else, really transpired. So now we're just on the hunt for Miz lucky underwear that he always wear. I hope he washes them. That's what we'll say. Because I know like people who have like lucky things, they don't wash them.
They don't wash them.
So it's like, I hope he washed them.
I mean,
I hope he takes care of them. I really do.
Oh Lord, I hope he went out there with no dirty drawers on dancing.
I mean,
it's not far-fetched. I'm excited to see the next episode. Of course, you can catch Miz and Mrs. every Monday until the end of the season, following immediately after Monday Night Raw. Now, with that being said, of course, Monday nights we do our post show here with the Salt Shakers. But if you want to see more of us discussing and breaking down each episode of season 3, be sure to join us every week here live on Twitch, Women's Wrestling Talk, 11:30 p.m. Central. Me and Santana, with our schedules and everything, we love to do these late night shows. Before we get out of here, we do want to give you a slight rundown because this week will be very busy. And then I'm going to turn it over to our editor in chief, and she will tell you everything that we have going on the writer side, because that's what we do. Goth_vegan, we want to thank you for joining us again because you were here with us last night. So that's 2 nights in a row, baby. So let me tell you something. Okay? We love it. You love it. And we love to have you here. Honestly, thank you, Jamie, also for being here with us. And we really appreciate all the love and support. I saw Jalen pop in here a little earlier as well. Thank you guys for always supporting us and watching us. We do this for fun, but we also do it because we love it. And it's something that we enjoy. And it keeps the Salt Shakers moving, honestly.
Don't mind me.
With that being
trying to do this article.
With that being said, okay.
I'm working while working, okay?
Working while working. We listen, it don't never stop. Okay. I be working, we be working at work and working at work. Okay, honey. Listen, soon we will be quitting our day jobs
and being here full time. We can really take over.
Honey, y'all have no idea. This weekend it's about to get crazy. With that being said, you guys, before we get out, I just want to let you guys know it is now Wednesday. So make sure later on in the day, a couple hours from now, make sure more than a couple, but make sure, and thank you, Jamie. We love you too. Santana is never not working. TK will tell you, our CEO here at Women's Wrestling Talk, the founder and creator of Women's Wrestling Talk, will tell you Santana never sleeps. This is a lie, but she does get at least some sleep. So I don't want you guys to be worried about Santana. It may sound weird, but on some occasions I even listen to Santana sleep. We sleep in the same room together on Clubhouse on most nights. Honestly,
we have virtual roommates.
We have a virtual room. I think this past weekend was the first time that we haven't slept in the virtual room together because of other things that I had going on. But with that being said, Wednesday nights, AEW Dynamite, Toni Storm versus Britt Baker just announced. It's about to be an amazing match. We, the Salt Shakers, will not be recapping it. We will be turning it over to our Turnbuckle Glam squad members, the Dynamite Dolls. Mika and Al will be here tomorrow night breaking down all the things from AEW Dynamite. Tonight. On Thursday night, be sure to catch Katrina on NXT and NXT UK recap. Stephanie will not be there due to her travels, but she will be in Brooklyn, New York for Juneteenth weekend. I am so excited for her. Santana's been coaching her on what not to do when you're in the NY area. Because baby, let me tell you something. We from the South down here. We a little nice. And baby, let me tell you, Stephanie is Alabama's own. Okay. At this point, she is the representation of Women's Wrestling Talk in Alabama because, baby, let me tell you, she sat on that panel with Mickie James, Trish, and Lita. Okay. She ain't nothing to play with. So I know she's going to be doing her thing. You might have someone hop in with Katrina on Thursday as well, but make sure you check that show out. Creep Squad is back, of course, with Lovely and Faye Jackson. So make sure you check that out as well. They will be having some fun, okay? And you listen, I'm telling you, you do not want to miss it. Now on Thursday night, you have to close out your night with the Salt Shakers. We are literally days away from Slammiversary, Impact Wrestling. We will break down everything Impact Wrestling on that night. Friday night, Stephanie, of course, is normally here with Santana. However, I will be here more than likely audio only because I will be at work But the Salt Shakers will be here on SmackDown. Well, for SmackDown and Rampage post show on Friday night. We actually might do a later show, but it just all depends. If Santana wants to run it, this is Santana's show, so we're going to run it how we run it. But there is a possibility that show will air at 11:30 p.m. Central. So with that, I didn't even think we, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even think about that, like how we could do that. I don't necessarily, but this is Santana show. I'm coming to Santana show. It is official Salt Shakers Friday night, Saturday. Okay. There's a surprise going to be on Thursday. I'm not going to tell y'all what it is, but be sure to check that out. Santana is involved in the surprise, and yeah, what's dropping on Thursday?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Saturday night, you guys.
I mean, not be a part of stuff.
Child, how can you? Saturday, do not forget All Things Indies, a wrap-up show with Emily, Katrina, and Mika. They will be breaking down everything that happened this week in the Indies. I'm sure they'll be talking about Always Ready, and they'll be talking about NWA and everything that's been going on during that, and some other promotions as well, along with a huge announcement from Women's Wrestling Army involving Warrior Wrestling that's coming up June 26th, same day as Forbidden Door. If you ain't featuring the women, you can kiss my ass. With that being said, on Sunday, okay, now you won't get Turnbuckle Glam. Actually, June 26th will be the monthly, kind of monthly recap of the rest of all the looks that we have for this month. It will include 3 weeks. So you'll have all the looks from Always Ready. You'll have looks from Slammiversary. You'll have looks from just every show that's been going on for the past 3 weeks, starting on the 5th and then ending on the 25th. All the looks included. On Sunday night, when me and Santana get settled from Slammiversary, we're gonna go get food. Like I'm gonna be honest. We're going to get food. Like we're not going to be rushing back. Okay, so it will be a late show, damn near close to probably like 11:30. Honestly, after we get our food, we're going to sit and we're gonna break down everything that we had literally just saw from Slammiversary. I cannot.
They're editing pictures so I can get them posted. That's probably what I'm going to be doing.
Nintendo gonna be working in the midst. Okay, I have to do a recap. Okay, so that means y'all know how we do. This Thursday, we will still have. We'll probably be doing normal. Now, normally, y'all know I'm on the writer's side too. Normally, we have been saving the Thursday night recaps, and we've been just putting them all together. That's not happening this week. So that means you will get a recap on Thursday published on our website. You will also get another recap published Monday from everything that unfolded on Slammiversary. So it's going to be a very busy weekend. With that being said, on Monday, you got to come back. We're on the post show for Monday Night Raw. Now, that show will also be a little later because guess who's going to fall out? Me. I'm going to Impact. And one thing, let me tell you something. I ain't like these others, okay? I don't care if I go to an event. We just going to push the time back, okay? So you going to see me regardless. I don't care what time it is. We're going to break down Monday Night Raw. I'm going to be at Fallout. So that means I'm going to be having to catch Monday Night Raw on my phone, okay? With that being said, come back next week for the episode 4 of Miz and Maryse. I mean, Miz and Mrs. I always say that. They should have just did Miz and Maryse. Miz and Mrs. And we'll be breaking down the 4th episode of this season. And we'll figure out if he actually found his lucky pants. Okay? Now, before we underpants. Before we get out of here, I'm gonna turn it over to my tag partner, and she's going to let you guys know what we're doing on the writer side. Santana. Take it away.
Wow. All right. So on the writer side of things, we of course it is Pride Month, so we
Mhm.
are celebrating that. Our writers have been putting out some articles. We probably won't have one for every day. We're trying to push it for every day, but um, we haven't missed a day yet. I will say that. But yeah, so we're doing this because I mean we already said like it was Nikki's idea. Um, start out as a joke per usual, but that's what we're pretty much doing. Our writers have been doing a great job of doing that. And I mean, that's pretty much it. We don't have anything coming for next month because that's Santana Appreciation Month. So we're gonna leave it at that. So I expect a lot of appreciation next month for me. We do have a new show coming. Well, I would say not new show, but we do have the news coming back next month. It's starting on my birthday, to be exact. I don't know why they chose that day, but
That's crazy.
right, it's starting on my birthday, literally. So
I didn't
that's
even.
a celebration for me. Amongst we're working a lot. We got some things planned. There's gonna be some familiar faces on there that you guys will see within the
Mhm.
wrestling media community. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Um, and yeah, but on the writer side, I mean, it's just Pride Month. You know, we had some amazing think pieces. We had some amazing people that we've highlighted so far. Some have even went on to share it, repost, and everything like this. So we definitely do appreciate the support from those who we have highlighted, the responses, the positivity, all of that stuff.
Mhm.
Um, we've been doing this since Black History Month. We kind of haven't stopped yet. So it's like all the time we're just going to highlight people and celebrate within their culture, within the community, and so on and so forth. That's what Women's Wrestling Talk is. We're very inclusive. We
Mhm.
don't like to leave anyone out, but it's so many of you guys. It's so many. You know, may have to save you for something else. But it's so many, it's so many wrestlers out here, man. That's culture wise or part of the community wise. Like it's so many to kind of keep up and you know put into 1 month. Um, but I've thoroughly been enjoying it. And hopefully maybe we get like a panel in or something where we can, you know, talk to some of the people that we've highlighted, learn a little bit about their story, their experiences being wrestlers and being of the LGBTQIA plus community,
Mhm.
and things like that of that nature. Because everyone has a different experience, and a lot of times I feel like it opened up a lot of doors. Because a lot of times when we're doing our research, we don't really find as much information on them. It's kind of difficult where we have to literally go to the source and find information from them.
And it.
I mean, it's difficult a little bit.
With that being said, I just want to shout out everyone that we've been able to like talk to one on one.
Mhm.
Max being one. We're also going to be featuring Jamie Lynn Synagogue as well, who was and I hope I didn't butcher her last name. Who was the first out trans woman to compete in Impact Wrestling. So be sure to check that out. And honestly, I want to give a big shout out to our editor in chief as well, because
Mhm.
she's been doing articles as well. She did one on Sonya Deville recently. So make sure you check that out. And when I tell y'all, that article is so freaking like the structure, everything, like the way that Santana made sure to really dive in.
Oh, I think Nikki going out. Nikki definitely went out again. I don't know if she's still in here, but it definitely had her go out. Um, but in the midst of that, Sonya, it's your face coming back like, yo, I'm sick of this.
I am good. We finna get the hell out of here. Like I'm not gonna keep.
But Sonya did share
Yeah,
my
she did,
article though.
and we
So shout
appreciate it
out. I still got
because
a few people that I have to
yeah,
write about.
we today is the 15th. We haven't missed a day yet, and I'm gonna try my damnedest to make sure, and I know Santana agrees with this too. We're gonna do everything we can to finish out these 16 days. I honestly think there's probably 4 days, if anything, that we're missing. I know that I had to take a little sabbatical for my writing because I didn't have access to my computer. And Santana knows this, but my anxiety won't let me do articles on my phone.
But me?
There are some things that we're gonna make sure that we do, and there are some people we even might like we said, we are inclusive, and this is Pride Month, so you might even see some of the men and we've been featuring men too, you know. So, and that's one thing that I will say was that has been one of the biggest aspects, is that when we say inclusive, we mean inclusive. What did you just find out?
Oh, I'm sorry. August has to drop the song. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Not related. But yes.
Oh my god! Anybody knows I love August Alsina, like infatuated with that man. So he dropped a song. So
yeah. I know Santana can't wait to get off here. So
I will listen to it later.
She's definitely finna get loud. With that being said, if you don't know, now you know. Y'all been rocking with the best, the Salt Shakers. This is Miz and Maryse, Miz and Mrs.
We're gonna need to put a sign up.
Post show, Jesus. Oh my goodness. Listen, it's still Miz and Maryse, but it's Miz and Mrs. With that being said, you have been tuned in and rocking with the best, the Salt Shakers, on Women's Wrestling Talk. Of course, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. No, I'm not gonna do it, Santana.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.